Hello and welcome to the Overly Animated Podcast, where we take animation seriously. We provide fan-oriented and analytic discussions on a variety of animated shows, movies, and anime, currently featuring Steven Universe, Miraculous Ladybug, New Powerpuff Girls, and Star vs. the Forces of Evil. I'm Dylan Hysen, and today I'm joined by Delaney Stovall.
Hello.
Today, Delaney and I will be discussing another episode of Steven Universe. Wait, no, JK. That's finally done. Today, we'll be talking about the August 15th episodes of Star vs. the Forces of Evil, Starsitting, and On the Job, aka Buff Frog Day. So we'll discuss all the elements of Buff Frog. We discuss Star vs. the Force of Evil every week on the Overly Animated Podcast. You can check us out at overlyanimated.com or search for the Overly Animated Podcast on iTunes or your favorite podcatcher. Get this out of the way now. Star going on a month-long break after tonight, so we will be ceasing, presumably ceasing Star discussions. I don't think we're at the point of roundtables yet.
Yeah, I doubt it.
So we'll be back for the September 12th episodes then. But yeah, so subscribe so you don't forget about us, and check back, and then you'll be notified when we do the episodes then. So let's get into Starsitting and On the Job. I'd like to point out that the Starco shippers have taken over the podcast now, and we've kicked out all the other non-believers. No, JK, Justin and Michelle will join us probably in September again for the show, but not even Star. That's a shame. Just us and not even Starco to discuss. So
it's just maybe.
There's
some.
At least, there's some. Don't worry.
There's a little.
We'll talk about it. So, Delaney, thoughts on the two Buff Frog episodes? I thought the second one was I was like, oh, it's out of order. Nope, it was just a continuation, and they're meant to be a two-parter. That's so weird. What are your thoughts?
I really liked them. The first episode's like, finally, we get to have Star and Marco by themselves for like a little. Obviously there's like tadpoles, but it's nice to kind of go back to like what we usually do. It was cute. It was funny. It was a little like, typically we have things like this happen and there's more consequences. There's just no consequences today. The second episode was really interesting because I know we talked about that he was gonna Buff Frog was gonna be in both of them. And we were like, oh, blah, blah, blah. And then we started watching it, the second one, and my brother's like, didn't we just watch this? And I'm like, shh, Carter, you don't get it. Just it'll be okay. And I really liked it. I'm glad they paired them. Like it was interesting to watch them right after each other. I don't know, it was fun.
Yeah, I thought they were just thematically pairing the two episodes. No, this is a two-parter.
No, they're literally two-parter.
Yeah, I don't have a lot to say about these. My first question is, what the heck is going on with the board game in the first episode? I didn't understand what this was.
It's my favorite. So, I think the board game's like the best thing about these two episodes.
Are we to conclude that the entire episode we just saw took place in the board game? Is that
we could theoretically, I guess.
Weren't they didn't they pan out and the big versions were commenting on the small versions? Is that what happened? I honestly was not following. This was too complex for me,
the first time they pan out and they're playing the game and there's the little ones, and then at the end they're asleep but the little ones are playing. So who knows?
Okay. I guess that was an interesting gag. I was just not following, but the show is obviously too complex for me.
You're just not on its level, Dylan.
Yeah, I guess so. So I think Buff Frog's a strong minor character. At some point, the show decided to make a leap with this character in the mythology.
Leap!
Not intentional. And go from this just guy who was always just, the gag was that he was always just spying on them, to actually making him a character. And so now he's, I guess, a character. I don't think you should, I don't agree with the premise of the second episode, conceptually giving Buff Frog an episode to do villain stuff. I think that's not a good idea, but it was actually fine. I don't know. The first episode was better, but it was also pretty inconsequential. I don't have a lot of takeaways from this.
It's kind of interesting. I guess we'll have to see, because if he goes back to Ludo, which I doubt, but how that might change things, because he's clearly Broski's his Star now. So
yeah. I guess I'll take these two episodes over the three weird ones in a row we got.
Right. Yeah.
But at the same time, I'd still rather see episodes like the two of last week, with actually involve our characters and are more substantial and funny and stuff like that. Starsitting is fine. On the Job was also fine, but there wasn't much there. I'll say that. And it was. I guess I'd like in general for the show to go away from being so over the top. I mean, I know that's its MO, but it's not always so over the top, and I don't know how to describe it. But like,
Well, I think it can be over the top and still be compelling and like interesting. And I think part of the problem is that sometimes it's just over the top for the sake of being over the top, which is fine. It can do that. That's obviously the show's thing. But
like the second episode was just absurd, and it continued like just absurd plot element after absurd plot elements, and it's like it kind of succeeded, but I don't know why we need to do that. Like the weirdness was over the top. Even last episode, like the quick paced humor kind of was over the top. It's just I feel like the show's good enough that it can have like normal pacing and stuff like that and normalness, but clearly they think that they need to set some sort of theme with the show kind of to match the weirdness of Star. But I actually think Star, like when they show the character Star, like it's some of the most normal parts of the show at this point. So I don't know. I feel like the show's has good enough elements that you can not just have the weird Buffrog episode where they care about corn for some reason, and like there's the rats again.
well, I mean, they do get some. I mean, they do some interesting things though here, like because we're talking about. I mean, we have these moments where the monsters are starving and only humans have corn, so we're kind of like going back into what the parts that you liked about
Right.
Independence
Yeah.
Day.
That's the best part of this, but it's clearly in the background. So I
Right.
think that's kind of like I think you can explore this plotline without the weird Buffalo story.
Well, yeah,
Like,
I think that's what this show like. I mean, this is what season 1 did. I mean, I'm obviously I would like more, but like we have this really weird stuff that happens all the time, and then you're like, was that a plot? What did they say? Roll it back. What? And then like it'll come back later, and you're like, oh my god, there's like this giant plot, and this show just got serious for 30 seconds.
yeah.
I think like, it's interesting. I mean, it's nice. I don't know. Like the show is. Granted, it's really hard not like, oh, it's just, they do this and it's annoying and blah, blah, blah. But it's also like, I'm kind of glad we have a show like this where it's kind of ridiculous, but they also do stuff.
I guess, yeah.
I don't know. It's hard. I mean, also this show is kind of like, it's not like completely out of left field for what the other shows we cover, but like it kind of is. Like this is probably like, I mean, this is borderline almost like, why are we covering Star? But
like, so like, okay, so let's compare this to the new Powerpuff Girls. The new Powerpuff
Right.
Girls kind of knows what it is, and like just has these cutesy character moments. And yeah, they're trying to do some plot stuff, but I actually prefer them not to do the plot stuff.
just be cute.
Yeah, this show though I feel like has had its most success with its best character moments and stuff like that. I don't even think the plot stuff has been necessarily that successful, but
Right.
I feel like this is going all over the place, kind of like I'm not clearly like when we had this season we had Mr. Candle Cares, which I think is like a top 50 episode of television I've seen this year, and then there's also almost every other episode that I've seen, which is like half of which are kind of below average television. That's such a big kind of divide. And that's just evidenced by the fact that the show is all over the place right now. Like, I think the show is still in its early finding itself stages, and it's like it hasn't figured out yet that it can take itself seriously, or like I mean, this is a stupid way of putting it, but it's still in kind of like first half of Avatar season 1 mode, where it's like, okay, we're this show where silly stuff's can happen and we have some plot stuff, and then eventually we'll continue that way through the rest of the series. I feel like this show is eventually going to get to a point where it's a little bit more focused than it is now.
Yeah.
But I guess I didn't expect us to still be here at season 2. I thought we'd gotten past it at the end of season 1. I wasn't exactly sure where we ended up, because the end of the season was really weird, but I don't know. It's possible that I'm wrong, and that the things that we like about Star are part of what this all over the placeness is. I'm not like 100% convinced on this, but I do feel like for me the show has a clear strength, which is when Star and Marco are on the screen and actually like not just oohing at like tadpoles, and like actually doing like things that contribute to their characters. But it's not necessarily clearly that's only, I don't know, 25% of the show. I feel like that should be 75, and then we can have the occasional Buff Rug episode. But at this point, I feel like it's still all over the place. Like this is where I'd be right now with it. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll just have to see.
It's a
I
it's
mean,
a
we're
weird.
clearly going somewhere. Like, we're building Ludo up, so like we'll just have to. I mean, I hate waiting,
I mean,
but
this is a season that we've had Ludo in the Wild,
yeah.
Fetch, and Camping Trip, Mr. Kendall Cares, and this last On the Job. I don't think there's another show on TV that has that wide a range of episodes. I just named some of the most different episodes like of TV. I feel like even in season one, it wasn't this different. And sure, there's a lot of weird stuff, but it had. I feel like since the show's kind of lost the Ludo thing, we've kind of ventured beyond, and we haven't really settled somewhere
Well,
yet.
yeah, it's like we're kind of like, because that's the thing. Like, it's kind of like Gravity Falls almost in like season 1 versus season 2. Like, you have season 1 of Star, and it's like Star's really weird, and you have really weird episodes where they do really weird things, but then you also have like this kind of like Kim Possible kind of thing going on where like monsters appear and they gotta fight them, and so that's kind of like the driving thing of the season is like we have this enemy we have to deal with, and like there's all these people after Star all the time. That's why all this weird stuff happens all the time, is because they want the wand. Well, now we took Ludo out of the equation for a little bit, and now it's just Star and Marco. Like, they don't really have to fight anything, and it's just like really weird.
Yeah, and I didn't even care about them fighting things. Like, that was fine,
Yeah.
but I didn't care.
Well, I think it because that was like a really good framing device for the
Yeah.
weird, and now we're like doing weird things, and it's just like for the sake of the weird. Like, I mean, okay, so Star feeds the tadpoles cake. That's such a Star thing to do. Okay, I'm fine with that. That's why I don't know why Star felt the need to feed them cake, but it's cool, Star. That's what you do. But I don't know. It's just I think
think you
when we
lost
get
where
back
you're
to
going with that,
Ludo,
but-
I did.
Yeah.
I lost where I was going, but like that's what the show has done. It's lost where it's
Yeah,
going.
so you're right. Okay, so the show lacks a framing device, right? So I think that's a very good point. So we don't have this kind of Ludo find the wand plot, which I thought that was kind of weak in season 1, but and so they got rid of it, like these shows grown out of that.
Right.
But we have this Ludo journey, which I found has kind of been pretty bad the entire way. I know people disagree, but and at the same time, none of the episodes we've had have had any sort of like common thing. I feel like to a certain extent, this is why we've kind of latched on to Starcode so much. Starcode could be the framing device for the show. Like, the show could just be
Yes.
about them growing closer this season. That's what the entire season could be about, but it's not about that so far. Like, clearly this first episode is completely non-romantic. So, my question is like, what is the season even about? And if it's about Ludo kind of like building this animal army, and maybe Ludo orchestrating the takeover of Muni or something like that. I mean, maybe that's where we're going. It's not what the show is right now. We have this like 2 seconds thrown in at the end, but also if the framing device ends up being Ludo and then the Star stuff is separate and still does like frameless, that's still bad. Like, you need to consolidate. I think narratively the show is unfocused, and I think it shows in the thematically the show is also unfocused, and it creates some really stratified results in critical quality when you put everything together. So eventually the show's going to consolidate. Like, it's not just going to keep doing this, but I do question why we did this in the first place. I feel like this is easily avoidable. Just, I don't know. Like, it's just...
Well, we've separated Ludo and Star. Like, that's what was interesting about season 1, is because for a little bit everything was like merged together. Like, it was like, oh, everything's coming together and things make sense now. But now we're like, we're having like 2 separate things, and like, yeah, Ludo's doing stuff and it seems kind of interesting, but I don't care about Ludo. Meanwhile, I care about Star and Marco, and they're not doing anything. And it's
exactly.
Where am I supposed to look? Where do I have to turn?
Like, I think that like the first half of the season is so aimless that I don't know if they even had a planning meeting for season 2. Like, I know that's kind of harsh, and this is probably the harshest criticism I'll give the show, but I do think it's kind of a failure in the writers and the creator and just everyone involved creatively with the season, in that we're just so aimless right now. Like, there can't be any planning involved with what we've done so far. I mean, it's just so everywhere. Like, I guess that this could just be a show. Like, certain shows don't have planning and they're just completely non-continuous and stuff like that. But there's a continuous element with Ludo, so I guess they planned that. it's way too all over the place. They need to focus in. Season 1 was more focused than this. It really was. Season 1 built up. I mean, you're like, oh, that's not the show. Yeah, it is. Look at season 1. Season 1 built up the St. August thing all season. That was a continued recurring joke that they clearly wanted to pay off.
We also had the teacher who got turned into a troll.
Yeah, I mean that's
that
more.
Continued.
Yeah, that was more of a running gag, but yeah, that seems like it had some amount of communication between the episodes. It built up the Starco plotline basically all season. It built up the Ludo stuff until the end. Then they introduced Toffee. That was a recurring thing. Like season 1 was planned. I don't have any evidence that there's any planning for the season except for Ludo in the Wild, I guess. But yeah, no, this show needs to come together soon because it's not that it's like failing, like it's fine for what it is. But if the show wants to not be, wants to get back to the heights of season 1, like I didn't want to be at this point where it's like, okay, shows don't do this. They're not like, okay, let's go back to the heights of season 1. They build and they get better. Like I know, there's some live action shows that peak in season 1, like Mr. Robot right now is like struggling to get back to the heights of season 1. But animated shows, this is pretty rare. So I'm a little unsure of how to handle this. I guess I need to give it more time because this is a long season. So
yeah, I mean we're talking all this stuff about it, but we're having pieces like we're going somewhere with Ludo. Like we know that for a fact. It's just we have to hopefully like something with Star, like, or maybe we'll just have a little bit more, like, I don't know, maybe we need a little drama with Star and Marco. I don't know, we just need something. They're not doing anything. I don't mean like drama as in bad drama. I just mean they have to have something that happens.
Yeah. Anyway, okay, we're done with this. That's the most negative I'll get about the show if you want to, if you're a fan. And I apologize. I don't know, like, whatever. It needs to be said, and we
don't cover shows we don't like, for the record.
Like, I do like the show. Like, I think this is not a great television show, honestly, but I like it, like, way more than it's great. Like, that, like, way more than its quality. But at the same time, the show, like, I'm only going to be hard like this on shows I care about. The show clearly has demonstrated potential, and it's executed. There's a solid 5 to 10 episodes of the show, which I think are legitimately very good. So I just don't understand why some shows do this, and there are shows like this that can do that and then aren't consistently like that. So, like, if this was just a bad show, I just wouldn't care, and I wouldn't like be harsh like this. But anyway, so now that I have ranted for a day, and I've probably lost our entire small Star audience as it is, let's talk about. I think we're better off like arguing about Starco like last podcast compared to 2 previous podcasts where now we're just like I said, like, this season has no planning versus fighting about Starco.
Yep.
And I apologize if any creative people on the show are listening. I don't think they are, but if I'm allowed for with this criticism here. So let's talk. Big subject is recently on television is criticism versus like dictating the show. I'm gonna link a article soon, probably on my Tumblr or something, Alyssa Rosenberg on Washington Post. Art is about surrender. Stop asking for it to be custom tailored, which leads with the Steven Universe controversy. So, like,
nice.
Hot topic again, this whole stop dictating what your shows are. So you could apply that here, but I would say that I'm more critically analyzing what I'm seeing, which is, of course, allowed. So let's get into these 2 episodes. I mean, we filled time, and now 10 minutes. Let's actually talk about the episodes. But so we talked about this board game thing. Yeah, I don't understand.
I love the board game. I think it's great.
I think that, yeah, that seems on theme for the show, like the magic, the kind of the weirdness, and incorporating Star and Marco into it. I like Star just not understanding why she can't go 5 spaces instead of 6 spaces. Like, that seems right. Yeah, but that whole thing I just didn't understand. So let's talk about the buff.
It was just like magical chutes and ladders. That's all I got out.
That's all it was. Yeah. Let's talk about the buff babies, which are not called tadpoles this whole show. But okay. So what do we think of us continuing this like Russian theme with Buff Frog and all of them being like, let's talk about the names we know. We got Katrina, we got Boris, Alexei, Anastasia, and then I stopped like writing them down. But it's an interesting theme with Buff Frog. Yevgeny Pulgavoygov. I don't remember. I didn't get his last name.
I don't. I think that's like the point, is that you can't get it. Like, yeah. he keeps saying it. And you're like, yeah. I don't know.
This is a stupid. It's a weird character, but
I think it's like, it's funny. I get like it's I mean, it's silly, but
Yeah, it's silly. So babysit them. I don't know anyone else to ask. Yeah, so it's I guess that makes sense. Yeah, who's Buffrog talking to right
yeah,
now? I
like
guess no one.
it's like
Uh,
who else is going to watch?
yeah.
Maybe
Um, the baby binder. This is the framing device is every kid show ever. Like they have a babysitting episode, and then you have like instructions, and the strict one wants to follow the instructions, and then like the one who's like more unorderly is gonna like not follow the instructions. This is like super tropey, but at the same time,
yeah.
it does feel refreshing with the show. I'd say.
Well, we also have magic, so you never know what's going to happen.
I guess so. Who's your favorite buff baby? Is it
I,
Katrina?
it's Katarina.
Are
For
you
one.
sure? I'm not sure
It's
about that.
Katarina. It's Katarina.
I'm not,
But I don't really like. I mean, Katarina's the only one they gave like any focus to.
oh, so you're
So
saying the others are underdeveloped. Okay, I see how it is.
like we can't. I mean, I honestly don't even know any of the others' names. I just know Katarina.
What do you think
like,
of Star's reactions to all of them?
Precious.
Yeah, when it went on for a long time, but yeah, I guess.
I honestly, I was so terrified when she was gonna boop him that they were like gonna pop or something. Like I don't know what I thought was gonna happen. I was really concerned.
That would have been
Like I
pretty
was
violent
concerned for their
the show.
safety.
Yeah, the hearts coming off of her cheeks. I guess that was like the highlight of the animation in that. Can't believe we haven't done that already. It's been the strain on that. I guess yeah, the just one boob.
They were
yeah.
waiting.
Yeah, this is like literally Mabel, literally like yeah.
Yes.
I mean, so much of Star is literally Mabel, but
Yep.
then the croaking, feed them cake, bath, dancing, pacify the inanimate things with dancing. Yeah, another trope. Sends the photo to them to Buffrog.
The photo was really. I really liked in the next episode where we get like.
Yeah.
I like. It's cute. I like it.
Yeah, it did incorporate well. Yeah, they are very careful with that. They get legs.
That was. I was just like, I don't think
know.
that's how that works.
I guess not. Yeah. What do you Stars wand as a stereo? Like, okay.
It's pretty good.
Playing Space Unicorn. Justin's not here for the Space Unicorn callback, but that's like the only song in the show. So I guess that and like the theme song. Was she playing the theme song earlier? Was that it? I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. It was okay. So we had like two like there's one standout line per episode. So here we are for this episode. So we just get this like 20-second segment. It was like when they like need to get the Katarina apparently on the other side of the bear traps.
Yeah.
Star, why do you have so many bear traps? You're afraid to tell Jackie you have a crush on her, but you're not afraid of bears. So Star, like,
So good.
Like it's really good, but also why is this like it's so different than the rest of the episode. Also obviously it makes no sense within the context of the episode. Also like why does Star have 10 bear traps all next to each other and stuff like that? But yeah, that's
I mean, I'm not really bothered by that considering how much weaponry we've seen in her rooms. So.
I guess so. I guess that's the explanation. I don't get you, Marco. Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of funny though. Like she would be afraid of bears. Like,
yeah, no, that makes sense. I like her. It's just in the context of the episode. It's anyway. Then Buffrog comes back. I guess. Yeah. Sees the legs. The Katarina gets the legs. Thank you, Star Girl and Karate Boy callback. Yay. I'll remember this like something I'll never forget. Okay. And then they're playing board game again. So there's that first episode. Any highlights I missed from Starsitting?
I don't think so.
Yeah. That was pretty much it. I feel like that.
Well, I guess like the bathtub, but I don't know if that's really.
I guess yeah. Star conjures the bathtub. Yeah. A little frustrating sometimes how Star is so sometimes it's so like doesn't understand how things work sometimes, and then other times it's like really in, and then like sometimes.
Well, sometimes it's not that she doesn't like know; it's she doesn't care.
Yeah. It's frustrating, but also like it's a super realistic portrayal. So like I don't know, it's a little bit frustrating as a character like trait. It's hard to build up this type of character when she's out of it like 90% of the time intentionally, yes, but then you get 10% of the time when she's like aware of what's going on and stuff, and it's this episode was basically Star out of it like 100% of the time, so that's why that was notable. So let's talk about On the Job. I do think it's kind of a mistake to not have Star and Marco in the episodes. I don't think we've had a successful non-Star Marco episode, although people would argue about Ludo in the Wild. Ludo had certainly a great animation episode, but I'm not arguing that. Yeah, we have a Buffrog and Tadpole's montage without the legs, and I was like, oh, they aired them out of order. Nope, this is setting up for call Boofly, who apparently has a name. I don't remember that, but
Yeah, I didn't. I don't know.
yeah, you're as evil as ever. I mean, the concept of him going after like going back to being evil or something like this is. I guess this is something we can do with him. Okay, who's more evil than you? Yeah. You're going soft, rats with the corn, element of surprise, is patented, interrogation. I guess this was the standout of this episode. We can do this the easy way. When you do this the easy way and the hard way. Easy for me and hard for you. Like the whole interrogation, I feel like was the best part, yeah. Then he's showing him pictures of his kids.
And he's screaming.
Yeah, it's pretty good. We should do live chat then, yeah.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, I call a star right now. Yeah, that paying off is pretty good. Yeah, I do think it's weird that I had this rant in these two episodes because these are probably two of the better episodes of the season.
Yeah,
so.
they're funny and like they're solid. They're just not. It's hard to talk about it coming off of like the episodes we've had, and it's like, where's the direction? Where are we?
We had bruh. I think Boofly said, bruh, are you good? Boofly's voice is really good. I think that's one of the best episodes, yeah.
Agree.
That's like something out of Rick and Morty. Like, there's actually a surprising amount of things in the show out of Rick and Morty. Boofly is literally a Rick and Morty character.
No, literally, yeah.
Yeah. You can hear Justin Roiland voicing him and stuff like that. Weapons, noise. Yeah, him making the noise with this thing.
They're like toys.
Yeah. Pick from Star. The cornfield, and we see King Butterfly appearance. He's just eating corn, like, and then he comes and he's this whole the concept of the cornfield right there, and then the rats and the whole like. I just okay. I mean, it's fine, like, but it's just all very absurd, obviously. And was there any setup for corn being a big thing in like Muni? I don't even remember.
They might. There might have been like some sort of like kind of throwaway line in Munipendence Day or whatever, where it's like.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe. And like our biggest, I don't know, export or greatest crop is corn.
Yeah, that might have been a thing. Yeah, I'll go back on that. Buffrog saves them. I thought Buffrog was going to. We'd have to have Buffrog be evil, but no, there's kind of no payoff to that. So I guess that's kind of unsatisfying from a plot perspective. Like, we don't resolve whether Buffrog is going to be evil or not. I guess the answer is no, but he still gets to be heroic, and it's like he gets it both ways, which I don't know.
Well, I mean, it's really, I don't know, like we're basically at the same place we were with him, like in the season 1 finale. So I don't like. Yeah. We'll just have to see. Like, I'm not really anticipating like something like. We might have another thing where it's kind of like he has to choose like between Ludo and Star for whatever reason, and that would be interesting, I guess. But well, I just don't know where. Like, I don't know what's going to happen between now and then. Yeah, like I don't know. Yeah. I mean, he's fine. I like him as a character. It's funny to have like these kind of like villains like who are. He's very Draken and, like Doofenshmirtz, like kind of like thing going on here. And it's okay if we keep going with it. Like, I'm fine to see what happens.
And then at the end, Rat's bringing the corn to Ludo, which I guess was set up. So I don't care where we're going with Ludo. Like, not at all. But I guess we're going somewhere. So I also really need to see Toffee again. So I hope that we just like they just didn't bleed and kill Toffee, which I guess they could have. But so that's okay. So there we go. We'll see where we're going.
I think we're going to like Munipendence Day. Like I think we're going to revisit that topic.
I think that Ludo is just going to like try to take over Muni.
I think that's what the plan is.
Which I think is. I mean, I need it to focus on Star if we do that and have like
the struggle, like the
excuse me, like have Star try to like is Star gonna like save if Ludo leads like a people's revolt or something.
Well, I think it kind of might be this sort of like I'm kind of Korra book 1, like the non-benders and the benders, like Amon, like
okay, I don't.
No, honestly though, we don't have all of the pieces, obviously, but in Munipendence Day we've established like monsters are like second-class citizens and this and then kind of Undertale-ish, and then now we have it's established they're starving, like they don't like it's hard for them to get food, that's why they do this and this because like they don't have anything. So I'm interested to see how this is framed, considering like Ludo's terrible. like one Ludo is like incompetent, but then also like Ludo like I'm not gonna say he's like pure evil because he's just so incompetent. It's hard to be like I'm afraid of Ludo because I'm not. But Ludo has proven he's only out for himself. He wants the wand. He wants magic. This, and this, and kind of see how it's framed in this. Because I'm assuming he's going to use the corn to be like, join me and I'll feed you. Like, you'll be fed. Like, when I'm in charge of Muni, like, monsters will be blah, 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 blah. And we might be going somewhere neat. I'm not going to get my hopes up too far. Like, I'm not going to start speculating too hard, but...
Yeah, I think we're going towards Ludo, like, leading a revolt, a monster revolt of Muni. I'm not interested in that unless the focus is on Star and her role in this, I guess.
Right.
So, we'll see.
It'd be interesting if we kind of get to this point where like Star's kind of like, what, like, because Star was fighting the monsters because they were after her wand. It's like, so it's and King Butterfly, like when he the camping trip, like there's this attitude where it's like they fight monsters on vacation and stuff. So it's like it'd be interesting to see like Star kind of coming to terms, like maybe having this like maybe we like can't we all just get along, like if the monsters are fed they won't attack us, and if we all just like we'll all be fine. And she doesn't want to be princess. She doesn't want to be queen anyway. So abolish the monarchy.
That's clearly where the show should go, and it's where it's probably going. But I'm not convinced that the show's going to seriously approach the storyline anytime soon. But
I don't know if we're going to approach it in any sort of like straight way. Like I don't like.
Yeah, no, it'll be some weird thing. Yeah,
like weird path.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna give you the episode titles of upcoming episodes. There's no game, but let's give you the September 12th episodes where we're gonna be back. Goblin Dogs. Okay, by the book. Episode titles of the show aren't very exciting usually. The week after that, Game of Flags. I hope that's a Game of Thrones parody. And the most exciting one of the upcoming titles, Girls' Day Out. So who's going to be in Girls' Day Out? Who's going with Star? Jackie, Star,
please.
And what's her face?
That Justin likes.
Yeah, what's her?
Jana.
Jana, yeah. Steve's not going to be happy with me, but yeah, it's let's have that. How about that episode? And then gossip about Marco. Can
it just be Star and Jackie? Like
wow, no Jana? Wow, that's harsh. Jeez, hey, Jana I'm not that much of a Jana hater. I want to include her in the Girls' Day Out. Jeez.
No, I want an episode that makes me start shipping Star and Jackie. Not more than Starco, but I have to have a little bit.
Okay. So you want to be in Star and Jackie? Okay. What if
like,
it's
just
Star?
Just make Marco mad. Like,
is there any chance this is Star and her mom and like Girls' Day
Out? That would be interesting. I mean, I doubt it.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be. I think if they maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think it's Then we have Sleepover and Gift of the Card. Okay, so we'll see. Those Girls' Day Out and Sleepover.
I think Sleepover is the most exciting thing for me right now. Sleepover.
No. Well, I mean, that could be anything.
But then it's also like, I feel like it can't be a Star and Marco episode because it's literally always
night of Sleepover. Yeah, so I don't think that works. Yeah.
Granted, they could also do something with Star where it's like Star's never had a sleepover, so they do like a sleepover. Like.
Yeah, we could do that.
I don't know.
Yeah, so we'll see about that. Let us know your speculation in the comments if you have not already turned off from my ranting about the show, which is definitely happening. So we'll be back then. In the meantime, we're going to be covering Steven Universe, Miraculous Ladybug, and other things here on the Overly Animated podcast, overlyanimated.com. You can support us on patreon.com/overlyanimated. Thank you very much to our patrons, Mitch Cordell, Beatrice, Nate, Andy, Jamie, Rachel, John, Ryan, Catherine, Taylor, Devon, Jay, John, Phoenician, aka Fever, Mitch, Cornardo, Steve, Beach Change, Nathan, Fillion, Buzz Lightyear, Man, Richard Rose, Name, Robert, Brian, Cook Cat, Needle, Diamond Day, Jewel, Garfield, still any work on Phoenician, and yeah, next podcast is going to be Steven Universe on Thursday. Heads and sets up. I'll say it again on Steven Universe. We're not going to have a mailbag or anything this week, hopefully. Hopefully Steven Universe on Thursday. We'll see about that. And then Ladybug the following week. So short week this week after you covered every episode of Steven Universe for a while. But anyway. Let us know your thoughts. Let us know. I'm welcome counter arguments on my serious comments about Star. And I think it would be an interesting discussion if anyone is actually listening at this point, which is not happening. But let us know if you have comments, YouTube comments, Tumblr asks, overlyanimated.com comments on the article. Anything else, Delaney?
I think we're good.
Okay. Yeah, we'll see you back in September for the highly anticipated, nope, not even the episode we're coming back. It's the second episode. But we'll see who's part of the Girls' Day Out. Let the month-long speculation begin.
Need to know.
Yeah. We'll see when we get an episode description. I don't think we have it yet. But anyway. Wait, let's click on it to make sure we don't have an episode description. Okay, we don't. Okay. Thank you for listening, guys. We will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.